Hi, my name is Teresa Jurgens, and I am the author of the Innovation Process book, author of the Innovation Book series, which includes the Innovation Answer book, Innovation Question book, this book, as well as the Innovation Portfolio book. We have been doing a reading of this book. Part 1, Waterfall NPD, New Product Development Processes, is going to wrap up in this episode, episode 10. You can scan the QR code on the screen to get to the YouTube channel with the playlist for all of the recordings for the Innovation Process book in progress. Today we're going to talk about Chapter 6, Cautions for Waterfall NPD Process. In the previous chapter, we recommended implementing a waterfall NPD process when the company is new to innovation or under the following circumstances, as in Figure 6-1 shown here. While waterfall has been one of the most widely deployed project management processes for new product development, there are several areas in which caution is advised. Missing customer feedback. Because waterfall processes emphasize upfront planning, customer feedback can be missed during subsequent design and development of the product. New product projects are often chartered with a list of functional requirements at project initiation. Projects are then managed to deliver these features rather than checking throughout the product lifecycle to see if customers and end users continue to desire those specific features. A project can be executed to perfection, but if the new product does not deliver value to both the customer and the firm, it is a failure. Worse yet are NPD teams and product managers with militaristic adherence to the product roadmap. Product roadmaps are designed to showcase product releases and features over a 3 to 5 year marketing plan. Roadmaps are often worked backward from a future point to lay out the product design effort necessary in the short run. However, if trends or fads change, an entire industry may be disrupted in a couple of years. If that happens, the planned product roadmap is worthless, and rigid adherence to it is costly to the business. As discussed in the previous chapter, the NPD team working for a producer in a staged and gated process is usually far removed from the customer. We talked about this with Figure 5-2. An efficient staged and gated process will build in checks, tests, and evaluations with customers at each stage. For example, Agile product development, which we'll discuss in Part 3, requires customer feedback at each stage to avoid this error. Interaction with customers and end users is especially important for programs of long duration when requirements can change drastically over time. Frequent testing of concepts and prototypes can eliminate expensive NPD mistakes. In-depth end-user evaluations help to identify problem areas before the product moves to technical development and scale-up. Gate reviews can be framed to capture customer decision points as well as product investments for the next stage. Failing to kill bad projects. They say that no decision is the same as making a decision for the status quo. In new product development, companies often create tunnels instead of funnels, as we illustrated in Figure 2-4. This means that projects are evaluated and passed on exit gates rather than entry gates. An exit gate is approved if the agreed upon stage work was completed. Exit gates tend to increase commercialization risk in waterfall processes since completed work does not necessarily indicate future success. Entry gates, on the other hand, are passed when gatekeepers agree to the next stage's action plan. Gatekeepers have the responsibility to not only examine work to date for fit with market and technology needs, but also must acknowledge the investment in money, resources, equipment, and time in order to move the product forward. The result of entry gates often means that more projects are killed, yet the overall innovation investment is optimized. Gatekeepers sometimes fail to kill projects because of discomfort in abandoning sunk costs. Sunk costs are money spent on the development of a new product to date. People often feel optimistically that sunk costs can be recovered if the new product is forced to commercialization and the project is marked complete. Unfortunately, sunk costs should not be a primary focus of a go-forward decision. A project must be financially attractive in the next stage for gatekeepers to approve it. Consider that a bad idea will not improve just because you invest more money and time. Bad projects must be killed as soon as the business case runs negative, such as sales projections and predictions, cash flow, or market share. Process owners track project mortality rates to ensure health of the pipeline and that bad ideas are eliminated. A project must be financially attractive in the next stage for gatekeepers to approve it. Consider that a bad idea will not improve just because you invest more money and time. Bad projects must be killed as soon as the business case runs negative, such as sales predictions, cash flow, market share. Process owners track project mortality rates to ensure health of the pipeline and that bad ideas are eliminated. A mortality curve should mimic the project funnel as shown in the example on the screen, figure 6-2. Killing bad projects frees resources to work on good ideas, enhances team morale, saves money, and improves speed to market for other new products. A side benefit is that as the organization begins to understand the innovation strategy better, idea inputs also improve. Gatekeepers may initially need to force projects to a kill decision to build analytical skills and intuition of gatekeepers to appropriately judge strategy, investment, and risk. For example, our food and beverage client was having great success with their new staged and gated system. When a bad idea came along, the R&D director suggested it be turned back to the idea bank for holding and reevaluation later. Instead, we recommended taking the idea through the organization's Gate 1 review to provide practice to gatekeepers in killing bad projects. Identifying characteristics of a bad project helped the gatekeepers gain better understanding of the gate criteria in evaluating future projects. Gate creep. At the opposite end of the spectrum, gate creep can defeat the purpose of the NPD process altogether. To minimize risk, gatekeepers, product managers, and product managers sometimes request excessive data and information to make a project decision. There may be so much data provided that a Gate 2 review, for instance, essentially covers all the requirements necessary for a Gate 3 approval. Gate creep increases the overall cost of new product development and reduces effectiveness of the system. The staged and gated process is designed to gradually increase investment over time while decreasing unknowns. While risk can be reduced with gate creep, the ability of teams to seek innovative technologies or develop new marketing opportunities is greatly hindered. At the same time, costs increase to gather data multiple times and before all decisions are finalized. Symptoms of gate creep include lengthy presentations by project leads, requests for additional information, and excessive meetings by the NPD team to prepare for gate reviews. Gate creep itself is a symptom of lack of trust within the organization and can be very costly. While companies that best utilize Waterfall NPD processes focus on next generation and incremental innovations, gate creep coupled with a lack of decisions can lead to a downward spiral of Me Too products failing to deliver customer satisfaction. A twin to gate creep is gate slippage. In the quest for perfection, project teams may delay and reschedule gate reviews until all data is certain and bulletproof. Gate slippage is similar to not defining done in Scrum, which we'll discuss in Chapter 11, and creates missed opportunities for market introduction of new products that may not be fully vetted internally. Often NPD scientists seek higher quality than customers desire or aim for full research studies that are unnecessary to legally release a product into a competitive marketplace. Tendency toward bureaucracy. One of the biggest complaints against waterfall processes is the tendency for the application of such systems to become slow and bureaucratic. Gate creep is just one example of how NPD processes mature ineffectively. Too much upfront planning and too many required documents, forms, and templates also lead to a slow and bureaucratic process. Here are some examples from companies with which we have worked and where bureaucracy became a significant impediment to product development. Most of these situations occur even in early stages of work, but can significantly impact commercialization of new products when they repeatedly occur throughout the staged and gated process. Gate review templates of 60+ pages. Business case accuracy of plus or minus 0.1%. Multiple preparation sessions and pre-meetings, including extended team members and management per gate review. Global gatekeepers for regional projects. Handwritten signature approvals from multiple departments. A 20-page document for signature to kill a project. Staged and gated process manuals numbering over 250 pages. Per department checklist of greater than 200 items for 6 or more different functions. While all of these elements lead to a perceived lower risk in the product development process, they most certainly add bureaucracy and stifle creativity. An NPD process with excessively detailed upfront planning does not allow room for adjustments to customer needs, changes in financial models, or technical learnings through the project lifecycle. Overly bureaucratic processes reward risk aversity at the expense of innovation, regardless of strategic objectives. Avoiding pitfalls in Waterfall NPD. First, the process owner is responsible to maintain throughput and effectiveness of the NPD system. Regular project reviews, post-launch evaluations, and training can help ensure the product development process remains streamlined. Collecting, analyzing, and sharing system metrics alerts senior leadership and NPD teams to problems before they become insurmountable. Of course, these metrics must be simple and straightforward without adding any additional burden or bureaucracy to the process. Next, the NPD process, like all business systems, should be audited by a neutral party once per year for compliance and effectiveness. External auditors or senior managers from another function can assist in checking the quality of the staged and gated implementation, especially if the firm is ISO certified. In lieu of external auditing, the process owner should present metrics annually to the executive leadership team, along with recommendations to maintain and sustain efficient NPD processes. Finally, if the waterfall process has become too heavy and bureaucratic, or if the organization has established a more aggressive innovation strategy, it is time to consider a hybrid approach. Depending on where efficiency gaps occur, a agile product development process can improve customer linkages while maintaining discipline. Alternatively, a lean NPD approach can improve cost effectiveness and speed to market. Consider the 4 key risk factors: customer, financial, technical, and people when conducting a gap analysis comparing current outcomes of the Waterfall NPD process and the desired future state. You may wish to use simplified value stream mapping to assist in streamlining a waterfall process. This is discussed in Appendix B. You can get a copy of the Innovation Process book from Amazon by scanning the QR code on the screen, or you can join a class starting August 12, 2025. It's a 6-week course, and we're going to cover all 4 of the processes that are discussed in this book in depth and customized and tailored to your needs. Thank you for following along with the reading of the Innovation Process book, and I look forward to talking with you soon.